Alright, hello everyone. Today we're going to be making a pretty long video here because a very big meta shakeup has just hit us. The full year anniversaries patch is actually now in the half anniversaries patch, which means that Virgo Cup onwards I have to redo all of my tier lists, which is so nice. But what the changes are is going to be a lot of them. I'll try my best to cover as much of it as possible. If I miss any of them, sorry about that. Right, so some of the very significant changes is skills and uniques. These are the two things that majorly change in this game, in addition to race mechanics and tracks changing as well. So many different things change for this one cup, and the subsequent cups will all have to adapt to that new change as well. Right, so Virgo Cup, as you all know, in the Umalator, currently it doesn't have a downhill. According to the first year anniversary, according to Seriuru, according to my own memory, I remember that they do have a downhill on the final leg area. So the Umalator probably will be updated later on to include that final downhill here, and that final downhill is actually going to be significant for the purposes of using someone like Rush Hour. Right. Other things that also changed were skills. So No Stopping Me and Umamusume became very core skills for every single backliner horse. It is like having groundwork skills on your backliners, because Nimble Navigator is like Majiro Ryan's unique, literally on a white skill or a gold skill. You always want to have it, and you want it to trigger as much as possible to improve your chances of winning. Umamusume is good because it prevents pace down, and if you have a lot of speed skills, more often than not you will be able to avoid pace down mechanics all the way until the middle leg, which is very powerful. So you want to go and buy this Umamusume as much as possible, and you want to get this on basically every single backliner horse. So these two skills are now wanted for every single backliner horse. Front runners, I also did not exclude you. You also have another thing to go and hunt for, which is lane movement skills. So on top of all of your typical groundwork, tree greens, blah you also need to find lane movement skills like your position, your danger, and your Haru wits. All of these options are very important, and you require 2 of them. Alright, you need 2 of these, and they must happen in the opening leg. They must activate very early so that they can give you the additional speed boost, because lane movement speed now gives you speed boost. If you've ever seen a gif of Seiyun Sky going really fast from 0 to 100, that's because of lane movement speed. That's combination is going to be very important for your front runners, right? Although to be fair, since we are just entering a totally new meta, people probably won't be hunting down for it already, right? So even if you don't have that, no problem. The other one that you probably really want to get, however, is the newly buffed early lead. Early lead gets buffed to remove the accumulate time of 5, so that now it will activate at 0 seconds, meaning it can act as a groundwork proc. Alright, so now you can use early lead plus concentration, plus 1 green skill, and tada, you have your groundwork activation already. So groundwork just became a lot easier, especially for someone like Silent Suzuka, because she already has concentration inside of her and she has early lead inside of her, so she only needs plus 1 more. It could be left-handed, or you can go and find front runner savvy somewhere else. Right, very good change for the front runners, but the addition of 2 new skills is going to be very annoying. On top of that, mechanics changes. We also have the guts change. So now guts is going to be very important stat line for every single horse. You need it because there's this thing called spot fighting. I don't remember the actual words for it, but basically the last spurt, you actually use guts to fight other horses in the last spurt. So if your guts is a bit too low, you actually will lose that final spot to the other horse, and that other horse will just go and take over and win you, right? You don't need to understand the very big nuance of the guts. You just need to know that you need to get a certain amount of guts, and in general I recommend everyone to get about 400-ish guts, because past 400-ish guts you will have a depreciating value. Alright, so that is a lot of the changes. I know it sounds very scary, but the changes are great for everyone involved, because all of these mechanics help front runners become stronger when they fight for the front. It helps pace chasers to get more acceleration options. They also can get more interesting uniques because of the buffs to some of the uniques as well. Late surges, they can still be late surges. They have more gambling options now because they can buy No Stopping Me. So if you wanted to remove like Marozensky to try and improve your inheritance by increasing your aptitude, also can. Right? After that, end closers, you basically are the same as late surges. You now love Umamusume. You love any late surge skills. You love getting all of your typical Umamusume speed skills, blah, so you can get to number 6, activate number 6 as per usual, and then just try to win from there. Right? So Gambling positions, say mostly the same. Front runner, major difference. Pace chasers, when last time the tier list I usually say pace chasers got nothing for this CM, nothing for this CM. Now they got something for this CM, right? Secret events have been added also. Secret events allow horses like Suzuka to go and do this secret event to become a runaway horse. We also have horses like pace chasers, like Oguri Cap, like Taiki Shuttle, who can get hit to hit. Alright, so this is a very important XL. It's like Slick Search, but it's for the pace chaser position, so it's going to be a very, very nice one. Also, they can use No Stopping Me for additional gambling, which is very, very important because pace chasers still do not have a lot of gambling options for acceleration. Right, so yeah. This is basically a very, very big change to the meta, and so many things will change. You're also going to learn a new scenario. The exciting thing I can tell you is that a lot of positions become a lot stronger. Front runners do not instantly die. Front runners just become strong alongside the other positions who also have their own strong horses. Right? There are more options, more variety, more fun for everyone involved. Okay, so let us begin with the parent draft first. Okay, it's not a draft, it's the actual finalized one. But for the Virgo Cup tier list, right, we basically have the addition of Narita Bryan and Fuji Kiseki. Alright, these two horses are getting very significant changes to their uniques. Lights of Vaudeville can activate from the first to third position, and it functions exactly like a Triumphant Pulse from Oguri Cap. It is a finishing unique that can give you that additional bit of speed to go and secure your victory. Narita Bryan is very good for any of the backliners because as long as you, I believe, are blocked or overtaking or something like that, right, you will basically be able to get a 0.25 speed boost to your horse. And this is a unique, by the way. Usually uniques give you 0.15, but if you are blocked or you're overtaking, you will be able to get that additional speed boost to the horse. So the buff to Bryan makes her a very desirable unique for those horses who need more speed in the mid leg to try and keep their pacing going, or to try to keep their fight for the number 6 to be very strong. Right, so Bryan became a lot better. Right, for pace chasers for this CM in particular, nothing really changes for them. Sadly, they can just get Majiro McQueen and they can just get Fuji Kiseki as another possible option if they wanted to. They can get Triumphant Pulse or Narita Bryan. I think pace chasers most likely will just get Majiro McQueen and Bryan because both of them are speeds to help them to overtake or fight for the front position so that they can try to activate their other uniques or whatever, like Doto's unique for example. Yep, so basically front runners, nothing changes. Seiyun Sky is still the best one. Late surgers and end closers, one unique changes, which is Taiki Shuttle's unique. Taiki Shuttle's unique goes from 2 to 5th position to 3 to 4 position. So the condition is much harder to activate, and this actually removes it from the accessibility for end closers, because by the time end closers get to number 4 position, they probably are too late to activate the Taiki Shuttle already. So that's why Maruzenski is a lot better for the end closers if they wanted to gamble that unique. Alright, of course they don't have to, they can just get No Stopping Me also instead of getting Maruzenskis if you want to keep your affinity very, very high. So no problem also if you want to abandon some of these acceleration uniques, because now we have a lot more options. Right, so yeah. This is basically all of the things that you can do now. Lots of, well, I guess like additional 2 options is still better than not having those additional 2 options. Right, so yeah, this is a very, very nice upgrade to the parents. Now we move on to the actual stat lines that are required for this CM. Notably, Saiyan Suzuka, we will also start adding the runaway strategy and start talking about the stat lines required for the runaway strategy. Right, for minimum stat lines, I highly recommend everyone at least get 350 guts. Yes, guts is actually an important stat. However, if someone tells me, Mumu, I want to use a 4 guts build, I would say no, because this is the Aharu scenario. In the Aharu scenario, you want to use friendship cards or you want to use wits cards, because you need to click more fireballs. Guts builds do not let you click more fireballs. Clicking more fireballs just lets you snowball the run like crazy, because clicking those fireballs levels up your training facility, gives you more skills, gives your Aharu team more stats so that they can win their races more easily. So it is very important to click those fireballs, and so the guts builds are not that strong right now. Okay, do not go full guts. You can still probably win a few races with just a full guts build. It's just that you will not be able to really get the super snowball of the wits based gaming or the friendship based gaming. Alright, so yeah, just take note of that. For the guts over here, you need to get at least 350, ideally get 400 if you can. Alright, for power, there is a special threshold for this map. It's every 300 power you get additional speed, so at least get 600 power on your horses. If possible, try to get 900. Alright, you just try to pump that power as much as possible and then try to max it out if you can, but that's really only for the whales. For those of you who cannot really go that far, at least get 600 power or try to get higher. Notably, this is This is a Mile CM, so the power should be one of your higher priorities for Mile, because in Mile, the power is very significant for heal stuff, and the power is very significant for acceleration stuff, and the power is significant also for speed stuff, right? For Wits, we can definitely go a lot higher than 300, but bare minimum, as per usual, I'll just give you like 300, 400-ish Wit for your minimum stat lines, and speed, of course, you try to max it as much as possible. Now, you look at the runaway stat line, and you notice that it's exactly the same for the ideal stats and the minimum stats. That's because the runaway stat line, there is no minimum. You must hit these stat lines, otherwise you are not going to have a good time. The runaway strategy is one of the most expensive strategies in the entire game, and it's very strong when it works, and usually it's quite bad when it doesn't work. Alright, what the runaway does for Sayang Suzuka is that it consumes more stamina, and she will run even more aggressively than a front runner. This allows her to take the #1 spot in the entire CM, alright? Absolutely #1 guaranteed, because she puts so much stamina consumption to increase her speed to a maximum level. The downside of this strategy is that when you fight another Sayang Suzuka, and you're both fighting for that front position as a great front runner where the stamina consumption is already so high, you will both die. 100% both die. We can go from 700 stamina requirement to 1100 plus 1 goal requirement. It is very, very bad to fight another great front runner. That was the problem with great front runners, right? So that's the pretty tough part for them. If you assume that there is another one, then you just have to accommodate by having even more stamina. But having to focus on speed, stamina, power, guts, and wits, and buy goal recoveries just in case you fight another great front runner is very, very expensive. So once again, we don't recommend people to go for that. You just go in and you pray no other person is running Suzuka as a great front runner. Alright? Other than that, great front runners still need guts. They still need very high weight because they are still front runners. They have several advantages, which I'll talk about when we talk about Suzuka. There is only one horse that is a great front runner right now, and that is going to be Sayang Suzuka. Later on, Majiro Palmer will also become another one. Alright, so other than that, for the rest of you, for front runners, pace chasers, lead surgers, around 650, 400 guts would be ideal, because then you will be able to have a very stable amount of stamina, and you have the guts to go and fight for your last spurt. You don't really need 650 stamina, you can even go to 600 stamina because you have a lot of extra guts. Up to you if you want to go for that high, or just stay around 600 plus 400-ish. Around there, you'll be mostly fine already. The guts is just important now because you need it for your last spurt. Alright, after that, the power, as per usual, go to 901. After 901, there's no more thresholds, so you go to 901 and go as high as possible after that. The wits, you also want to go as high as possible, so you can have very good activations of your skills. Speed, also try to max it as possible, and of course try to get medium S, turf S if you can. You can get the wits S also, that one's not so important, but more significant for the front runners. Right, so that's pretty much the stat lines for this CM Virgo Cup. Okay, now we move on to the actual tier list over here. We have the F tier horses. For the F tier horses, we have all of the horses that are stamina junkies, right? Super Creek, Agnes Tachyon, Grass Wonder Fantasy. They literally have nothing else except high stamina. So because of that, they are not really meant to be playing in the Mile CM. Teo, McQueen, all of these are also more or less like mediums or long horses, right? Then also we have El Condor Pasa here. Now El Condor Pasa is the one that I probably can bump up to C tier. The reason behind her is that I really don't want people to be making her at all. Right, she is a very hard horse to make. Pace Chaser Pasa does not work on this track because the straight line activates way too late, so Victoria Poplanka, her unique does not work. And then her only win con is to become a front runner, and then you make her activate angling and scheming, and after you do that, and then you get to the time where your Poplanka activates, then you'll be able to get that extra acceleration and maybe try to win from there. But the hard part is just, you know, fighting all the other front runners that do not have to struggle like a front Pasa, right? So yeah, pace Pasa, front Pasa, definitely not very rewarding, and so I really dump her all the way down here just to make sure no one actually runs her. Okay, after that, for the C tier, we have quite a bit of horses that were F tier last time become C tier horses because their uniques got significantly buffed that they actually can do something. For example, Anime Teo, Biwa Hayahide, Mihono Bourbon, a lot of them got their uniques changed a little bit. Sorry, not Mihono Bourbon, Air Groove got her unique change, King Halo got her unique change. Right, what did Bourbon get is that early lead became better, and she has golden early lead inside of her kit, so that makes her significantly better than before. Her unique may not be very good right now, I think it didn't get changed at all, but I think her golden early lead still makes her a significantly better front runner than before. Alright, so yeah. A lot of the horses here got their uniques changed, and so they became a lot better. Notably also, speed skills, their durations were somewhere between 1 second to 0.9 second to 1.2 seconds, just very random sometimes. They all mostly get fixed to about 2.4 seconds duration. So every single speed skill now becomes a bit more standardized, and so you would like to have speed skills now. You don't mind getting any speed skill. So instead of this speed skill sucks more than this speed skill, now all speed skills are kind of like the same duration, so you just need to check which of the timings you're really looking for the activation of your speed skills. Alright, after that we go into the B tier over here. A lot of the B tier horses are kind of like off strategies or slightly weaker than the ones in the A tier. The A tier is one of the most populous positions because a lot of the horses are actually strong enough to get you to A finals no matter what, as long as you know how you're building them, you know how to use the strategy for them, and yeah, the A tier is going to be very, very solid. For the B tier horses, these horses basically are always solid. They never really go below this place because they are just very, very solid. You will notice that Spare Chan is here, right, in the tier list. Spare Chan indeed got a big buff because her shooting star unique actually gives her 0.1 acceleration at the last spurt, perfectly procced. So that is actually really, really damn solid, and it makes her into a very, very solid gambler from now on. She will never be really L anymore. She will just always be a solid horse that can win every now and then, right? Agnes Digital also, your Wedding Air Groove also, the unique change, the Big Sisterly got buffed, just very, very good stuff for her. Gold Ship we put into Late Surger instead of Encloser because Late Surger you can gamble more stuff. We got No Stopping Me, and Uma Stan is on Gold Ship, so she can just get it for free also. So she's just very, very strong. Gold Ship will always be a B tier or A tier horse every single time, no question about it. Right, after that, Symbolic Rudolph, Oguri Care, Narita Bryan, significant buffs to her uniques and her gold skill, so she herself is also a very, very powerful horse. You can run her Pace Chaser, Late Surger. I think the Late Surger position is a bit better though for her, so I think that you should probably try to gamble with Oguri a little bit more. Kurun Chan also is over here because she's just an overtake monster. If there's a lot of good ways you're like blocking the horses or enabling Kurun Chan, you can actually improve her win rate by quite a lot if you build the whole team to enable her. Alright, so that's pretty much for the B tier. Now we go on to the A tier. For the A tier, you will see a lot of the other front runners over here. You got Bakushin, Smart Falcon, and S-Maru. And you might be wondering why I rate them so much lower than the S tier. I thought S-Maru was supposed to be the strongest horse in the game. S-Maru is still a very, very powerful horse, especially she has Mal Maven also, right? So Mal Maven got buffed as well. Wrestle is still very good. It's just that when she gets the front position, you're going to need a lot of stat lines to try to secure that win, because that win is only 0.2, right? Your Angling and Scheming you inherited is only 0.2, while Saiyan Sky is 0.4. So if you do get the front position with Saiyan Sky, at least Saiyan Sky is going to win the game guaranteed. But with only 0.2 XL on S-Maru, it's actually highly likely that a lot of other positions can actually fight her, right? 0.2 XL is not really a lot when you consider now that a lot of other horses can get speed carry over, can get No Stopping Me, can get on your left, can get a lot of other gambling skills, and if they hit just 2 or hit 1 that is 0.4, they can actually catch up to S-Maru. The only way for S-Maru and Falcon and Bakushin to win is if they actually fight each other and then make a very, very big lead, right? S-Maru is still very strong, don't get me wrong. She will fight very hard for that lead, and she will probably secure that lead because her skills are very, very good, right? It's just when you are at the finish line and you're trying to fight for the final part, a gambler can hit and win, and a Pace Chaser is now very, very strong also. They can hit a perfect speed carry over with No Stopping Me, and that is also a very, very powerful combo that might even secure them the win against Angling and Scheming. So it's going to be up to how well other people build their horses and how well you build your S-Maru to determine whether you win, right? But in general, S-Maru is going to be still very, very strong, and it will sweep a lot of the weaker lobbies that you will find during this CM, right? If the enemies are weak, and S-Maru can easily sweep the lobby, it's just that Pace Chasers, Late Surgers, and Closers, all of them have a fighting chance now against this horse, right? Next, we talk about a lot of the Pace Chaser horses, because I think that's the most interesting one. First one, we have Rice Shower. Now, I still need to go do some testing for some of these horses, so Rice Shower is one of those horses that I need to test. I need to test if they actually implement the downhill on the last spurt properly for this track. If they did not do it properly, then her downward descent is not going to be as good as I thought it was, right? The downward descent is basically on a downward slope, you get acceleration. And if they fix this track, there is literally a perfectly placed downward slope for her to activate that downward descent. And more often than not, I think maybe like 80-90% chance of activating, it will always give you an XL near the starting part of the acceleration timing, which is very, very big. Alright, so that plus her buff to Blue Rose Closer unique, allows her to even speed carry over the unique into the acceleration phase and gives her an additional way to get even more acceleration, making her very strong in Pace Chaser. Remember, she can also get No Stopping Me, so that is also very, very good. Can get Uma Stand also for more speed stuff. So she's a very, very strong horse for sure. Alright, after that, we also have like Daiwa Scarlet. Daiwa Scarlet, now with the addition of Runaway Suzuka, and you can even use Suzuka as a blocker, you can actually use Suzuka to kind of spearhead a multi-stage rocket for Daiwa Scarlet. Daiwa Scarlet, her unique got buffed so that now that she's second place, she can look to a horse in front of her and try to overtake that horse. And if Suzuka is the blocker stopping all the other front runners from actually getting there, and your Daiwa gets to the second place, you can rocket Daiwa, Resplendent Red Ace, and win the whole game. Alright, so this is another way you can play the Daiwa Scarlet gambling position. Next, we have Go City. Go City is a bit tricky because right now I'm unsure whether Keen Eye is going to be a very significant speed debuff. I've gotten various reports from a lot of different CCs. Urzi says that if that this skill was very good because you used Swimsuit Go Ship to randomly fire this skill twice, because Swimsuit Go Ship's unique is that it will fire another Go skill again, regardless of the activation condition. So you can actually shoot the Keen Eye twice, so that makes it a little bit stronger. But whether the current version works for speed debuffing, I'm not sure, because it only debuffs in the opening leg. Then after that, VF says that a speed debuff is a speed debuff no matter where it is. And then after that, me and some of the Discord members also discuss about it, and we think that it only really helps against front runners. So I have no clue whether the debuffing is actually going to work. We will probably do some room testing just to double check whether this will actually work. So all I'll say is that she is still a very good gambling ace. Alright, her unique has not been buffed yet, take note, so it's still not Go Ship's unique yet, but her unique is basically going to activate early, and you still can get on your left inside of her. Right, so on your left inside of her, plus buying all your gambling skills, No Stopping Me, Maru, Ryan, boom, you're done. Go City is perfectly viable for gambling. Grass Wonder, exactly the same on your left inside of her. It's just that Grass Wonder's unique got a bit more consistent because they buffed it a little bit. Right, after that we have Taishin. Taishin, you can use her as a late surger and closer, and you'll be perfectly fine. You can use Encroaching Shadow or put a late surger to make sure that she can hit number 6 and number 5, and then after that go and activate No Stopping Me, and then activate Nemesis at the right timing to have a speed carry over into the final acceleration phase to have even more acceleration. Right, you also want to try to get Uma Stand on her if possible, because that's one of her big problems. She needs to get a lot of speed to get to the position she wants to go into. Right, and closer, you can use Encroaching Shadow. It's 0.4 XL, still very, very good. You can use No Stopping Me, use a bunch of other speed skills to get her to the right position so she can Nemesis speed carry over for a very big boost to her win rate. Alright, after that, the next two Pace Chasers to talk about is going to be TM Opera and Doto. Oh my god, the canon pair finally in A tier, right? What TM Opera O used to have a really, really horrendous unique that required her to be severely blocked, then it would activate. But with this buff, right, they made it so that as long as there's one horse in front or one horse behind, it will activate the unique. This improves consistency tremendously. This makes her very strong because she can be like Rice Shower and speed carry over her unique if she hits it at the right timing. It is very, very good for gambling for a Pace Chaser position to go and win. She also has a lot of good Pace Chaser skills. It's a very, very strong horse. You can also run her late Surger and just play full on Gamba, and she'll be exactly like Doto. Either play both of them as Gamba or play both of them in Pace Chaser. Both of them will be fine depending on the lobby. Alright, so it just depends on you want to gamble more, you want to play Pace Chaser, and then you use another strategy to buff your Pace Chasers. I'll explain more about Pace Chaser buffing. Right, after that we have El Condor Fantasy and also Fuji Kiseki. With the buff to Fuji Kiseki's unique and the buff to Big Sister Lee, she becomes a very, very good Mal horse for sure. After that we have El Condor Fantasy, who is also a very, very good gambler with insane highs. It's just that now with everyone getting buffed, she's no longer the only one who is going to get the insane highs. It's just that a lot of other horses can also get those insane highs as much as she wants to. Right, notably El Condor Fantasy is a bit like Vodka without a speed unique. It's just that she can gamble her unique to try and activate it during the acceleration phase, making her a very, very strong gambler also. Right, after that we go on to the S tier horses over here. Okay, so right now I've already explained Go City and I've explained Rice Shower. The third horse I need to explain that I'm not 1000% certain about, I need to go and do some testing, is going to be Silent Suzuka. But this is only about Silent Suzuka as a winning ace, because historically, from what my memory tells me, this strategy, the runaway strategy, was released in Make a New Track. it was not available in Make a New Track because this was from a secret event. And in Make a New Track, they disabled all secret events, which means you cannot train runaway horses during Make a New Track, right? So what happens with this Great Escape is that later on in Grand Life, when we could start making the Great Escape horses, they didn't really win much, but they were very good at doing certain things like blocking and buffing. I used her as a blocker. Alright, so I know that one, but the buffing one is also something that I have experience with, right? The only one I don't have experience with is making her win, alright? So that's the one I'm not certain yet, so that's why I put her currently as a blocker. So just now I said Pace Chasers were getting buffed, right? What buff are they getting is actually through Blocker Suzuka, right? So Blocker Suzuka, what she does is that she straight up is Great Escape, right? Great Escape consumes a lot of stamina, but if you say, I don't want to make this horse win and just cut the speed out, you only need to focus on stamina, power, guts, and wits. And even if you don't have enough stamina, as long as you block them all the way until the last spurt and make sure they activate their Seiyun Sky unique much later, that actually is already a very effective block by Seiyun Sky, by Science Suzuka. But another thing that she does is that she's super aggressive to the point that she runs all the way in front and she makes the pace giga fast. Alright, the pace is now so fast that Pace Chasers are pretty far away from the late surgers. The late surgers are quite far away from that front position. The front runners have run all the way in front, and now the pace chasers are also very, very far in front. What this does is that since you have blocked all the front runners from winning with this Science Suzuka and the pace is so far in front, the pace chasers are very, very, very optimal to actually try to win the game from there. Because why? Most pace chasers just want to be second, third, fourth, or fifth, and some of them are overtaking pace chasers, which means that as long as they overtake, they will be able to just win the game. Like, think about Daiwa Scarlet, right? As long as she's second place and there's a horse in front of her that she can catch up to, she will activate her Resplendent Redshift now. So because you use the Blocker Suzuka, you give your Daiwa enough power and speed skills to get to that second position. She zooms after that Silent Suzuka because near the last spurt she's dead already. Then you activate those extra excels and you just run it down, and you are very, very powerful with this kind of combo. And this boss pace chasers in general. So this Suzuka is very, very solid. Definitely do look out for her if you want to buff up your pace chasers, or if you want to go and block those front runners from ever winning your lobbies. Alright, Silent Suzuka is very, very good for that. Now, the one that I'm not sure of is just the winning. Theoretically, if you get this Science Suzuka to run all the way without any other competitors for the Great Escape position at all, aka there's no fighting, there's no position keeping fight between a Suzuka and another Suzuka, then the stamina requirement is not insane. If the two of them fight each other, it's going to go up to 1100 stamina plus 1 gold, so that's very, very unrealistic. So basically you just assume that they died already, right? If it's just one Suzuka, she goes all the way in front, the gap is humongous, and then she activates angling and scheming and everything else goes well, she will win the game. So that is the theoretical, right, for Silent Suzuka. Okay, so this is basically a bit of a weird time for me because I have not experienced a great frontrunner being this being released this early. Alright, it's very, very early in the life cycle of Global Uma, so we are not sure if Suzuka can actually become a very, very OP ace. I do know that her existence makes frontrunner life pretty damn annoying because just one Suzuka in the lobby can potentially make things really, really bad if it's built well. Alright, so that's something that I will take note of for the Great Escaper strategy. Alright, it does help pace chasers, it does deny frontrunners. So frontrunners at least do not have a free game for the next few months. What we have here is one of the many, many ways to try to beat the frontrunners with a Great Escaper. Alright, so that's why Suzuka gets a little bit of a more mention here. Alright, after that, we have several other horses that you probably know of already. Seiyun Sky, Majuri Ryan, Vodka. I don't really need to explain them, do I? Vodka is the queen of the mile. Majuri Ryan, you hit number 6, you win the game. Seiyun Sky, you hit number 1, angling and scheming, you probably win the game already, right? So these are very, very powerful horses. Okay, but there are two horses that are very, very interesting for some of you, right? We have Mayano Top Gun and we have Taiki Shuttle. So let's start with Mayano Top Gun first. The reason why she's S tier is because I personally think that this horse is now, because they're adding a special event for her called Shapeshifter. So this Shapeshifter event is that if you race in front, pace, late, or end, you will get an acceleration for every single one of those positions. So you can get straight away Spurt, Slick Surge, Head to Head, and one other front acceleration skill. So having access to all of this makes her a free skill dispenser. On top of that, we are entering our Haru, And in Aharu, because of the wits-based deck being very, very popular, you will very easily get 500 wits. And having 500 wits is very important for Mayano because she has a special event that triggers where if you do have 500 wits, you basically guaranteed get fast learner or sharp, whatever you want to call it. Alright, this reduces the cost of all of your skills by 10%, allowing you to buy a bunch of skills for cheap. And in JP meta right now, Mayano is always a strong performer because the meta is literally just get fast learner. Literally just reroll until you get fast learner, and Mayano is one of the easiest horses to reroll to get fast learner. Very, very strong horse because of the free access to excels, very good skill dispenser with the additional cost reductions for all of your skills, and the only requirement is just get 500 wits, right? Just get 500 wits before this event triggers. When this event triggers and you have 500, you're guaranteed the fast learner. If you didn't hit it, never mind, redo the whole run. Redo, 500, okay, done, we got it. And then you just finish the whole run, pray you get your medium S and whatnot. In terms of re-rolling for fast learner, this horse is going to be very, very solid for you. In addition, she has no stopping me inside of her. Now, this is Aharu, so in Aharu, you can actually get fast no stopping me for free. All you need to do is just pick the team name None. And if you pick None, you will get no stopping me for free. And every single horse can pick None. That one is no problem. So after this Unity Cup, after Aharu, right, Mayano becomes even better because the scenarios from now on do not give you no stopping me, and she has it inside of her. That makes her even better than before. Alright, this horse can literally go into any position, and later on Bofa will also get buffed. So that means that she will become significantly better, right? So this is just a horse with great potential inside of her, and as the patches go, she just keeps getting more and more and more stuff, and later on they release a Mayano alternate, and that Mayano alternate is just insanely broken because they buffed her too much at that point, so she just became insanely broken, right? So yeah, that's Mayano Top Gun for you. Just keep an eye out for her as an F2P'er. You will really enjoy her because she has access to so many skills and discounts. Notably, if you do not do the 500 wits, then this horse falls off really, really hard. You will put her A tier or B tier, right? So just take note of that. She really loves the wits-based gaming of Aharu. Later on, make a new track, you can get a lot of wits also, so she will become much, much better from here on out, right? Also, her unique got buffed, so she's basically more consistent with that unique, making her much stronger. Okay, the next one is going to be Taiki Shuttle. Taiki Shuttle got a major buff. Instead of Final Corner unique activation, her Final Corner now becomes later Final Corner, which means that you do not activate it the moment you touch Final Corner, you activate it after Final Corner is about to finish. So that is incredibly powerful, and the only one that can use Taiki Shuttle's unique is Taiki Shuttle. Her duration is not long enough if you inherit it. You need to put this on herself, and she uses that additional duration to accelerate just like an angling and scheming. Yes, it's 0.4 acceleration at the exact start of the last spurt. This makes her insanely powerful, but we are not done yet. She also has hit-to-hit from a secret event. You just do the secret event and then you get hit-to-hit. After that, you can also get No Stopping Me for another gambling option with the No Name. After that, you also have Mal Maven and Productive Plan, which all got buffed. So now this horse is actually the Queen of Mal. If you want El Condor Pasa from the previous Mal CM, for Virgo Cup, you can use Taiki Shuttle instead. She is the new El Condor Pasa for this mouse scenario because it is a final corner perfect activation for her acceleration. So Taiki Shuttle is very, very strong, and my team comp will probably be something like Suzuka, Taiki, and Vodka. And some of you might say, but Mumu, I thought you don't like making front runners because it's so hard to make them. Suzuka is not that hard to make. Why is Suzuka not that hard to make? She has early lead. Remember, early lead got buffed. It activates at 0 seconds, so that's 1. She has concentration inside of her, so that's 2. The third one is Great Escape. Yes, the Great Escape secret event gives her a green skill called Great Escape that activates at the start of the game. So now you have 3 skills, activate Groundwork, which means there's only 2 more skills I need to get, which is Position Sense, Danger Sense, or Aharu Wit. I can get Groundwork and Position Sense from the new upgraded Smart Falcon Power. And so because of all of that, and I do have a 0 limit break copy of that card, I can make a really shitty but decent enough Suzuka blocker just by running her a few times. So Suzuka is going to be something that I will try to cheaply make, and if I fail to make it, then abandon ship, just go for Majiro Ryan. Very, very fast to make also. Alright, so that's pretty much my strategy for this upcoming Virgo Cup. As you can see, right, lots of different strategies are now more available to a lot of players, and I'm very, very happy with this shake-up here. I'm not happy, however, because I really have no time. I have to go and do this tier list, and then I have to do the next tier list, and I have to do all the middle ground content in the middle. I have to show you an Aharu run, blah, blah, blah. My life is so miserable right now because I can't play Umamusume. I have to do all these spreadsheets and stuff. Right? So anyway, This is pretty much the tier list completed. Now we talk about the skills that you're hunting for now. Alright, lots of skills are available for you guys now, so we'll talk about every single strategy one by one. So we have Runaway, right? Runaway is literally just a front runner who bought a green skill that makes them into a super front runner. They are still considered front runners, so everything that's front runner related is still usable on them, right? You get your groundwork, your 3 greens, concentration, angling and scheming, early lead, blah blah blah. Unrestrained also for Silent Suzuka, right? It's also very, very decent for this track. You want all of these on the horses. If you are a great escape Suzuka, notably, right, if you just activate Unrestrained, right, you probably won the game because that's additional 0.3 or 0.4 XL, so that's really, really strong. If you want to protect yourself against fighting another runaway horse, you would pump a bunch of stamina into the horse, but that might weaken the horse significantly, alright, if you pump more stamina into her, and you also have to buy gold recoveries. So I did suggest at least you can buy something like Swinging Maestro or Restless if you have no choice to fight another runaway, right? So yeah, just take note of that if you are planning to make any Silent Suzuka aces, alright? I do have some people who already plan to go and make it, so that's why this is mainly for them, right? After that, all the other speed skills as per usual, fast pace, tail, playtime, corner, adapt. You already know it, right? Front runner corners, mile corners, like all of these are just really, really solid. I think straight away adapt also got buffed, but I do not remember if it's actually a very, very important skill because there's just so many other important skills to go and hunt for, right? But I mean, if you can buy, you can go ahead and buy for now. Try not to buy the Ignited Spirits if you can, for front runners in particular, because Ignited Spirits are not very important for any of the front runner positions, and they're also very expensive. It's 200 per, which is basically a unique. You're paying 200 for a unique, so it's very, very expensive, right? And then notably for this sample decks here, we included Smart Falcon Power in case you wanted to just use a card that guaranteed gives you groundwork and guaranteed gives, sorry, not guaranteed, but hints. It can give you 1 hint for a position skill. Wait, no. Sorry, there's 2 events. One is groundwork and one is the position sense. Sorry. Yeah, so you can actually get 2 very important skills just by using 1 power card. So the Smart Falcon Power card is significantly better now, right? Other than that, we also have the regular front runners. Regular front runners, you have Duty of Dignity calls, Bakushin unique. We have early lead, angling and scheming, groundwork. Yes, all front runners want early lead now. Please go and get it. For your S Maru unique, do buy 2 white recoveries. Do not need to buy any gold recoveries. Gold recoveries are too overkill. Just buy the whites for now, right? Just get like corner recovery, 777 or Moxie. Any of these will really work. After that, get front runner corners, mile corners, blah blah blah. You know the drill already, right? Just get all the good speed skills. Okay. After that, we have pace chasers. Pace chasers, what do you hunt for? You hunt for Nimble Navigator, you hunt for your speed uniques like Narita Bryan, your McQueen, and then rely on your own unique to try and win from there, right? You try to get Shadow Break, try to get Duty of Dignity calls, use your own unique, maybe your Oguri and whatnot, and you need more gambling stuff, then you can try to get Ignited Spirit Power if you really, really need to, right? But these are only for the horses who really do not have a unique that is very, very strong to help them to gamble the victory, right? And then of course, you're a pace chaser, so try to get Umamusume. Umamusume is going to be very, very strong. It is the groundwork of the pace, leads and end. That's how important it is. That's how valuable it is. Yeah, it's basically a way for you to avoid pace down, and if you can just keep activating speed skills, you can maintain that pace up for a very, very long time. So that is something that you try to go and do, right? You can see some funny videos of maybe like a Taishin going from backline all the way to the front position because they just kept their speed going all the way, right? So yeah, pace chasers, they don't really need to hunt for anything in the cards. They just try to get big stats. They just try to use their own unique. They try to get like Speed Star, Yeno Muteki skills, and they're pretty much done already. So that's pretty much all you need to do as a pace chaser. For late surges, pick your option of gambling. You literally have so many ways to gamble, it's unbelievable, right? You have Pump Some Iron, Red Shift, your On Your Left, your Furious Feet, your No Stopping Me, literally anything. Anything. Just take your pick of some XLs, and if you want to get Umamusume, then make sure you have a decent amount of speed skills to maintain that pace up all the way until the end, right? So this is something that you should try to go and balance around. You need a lot of XLs, but you also need a lot of speed skills, right? So this one, you just try to find a nice middle ground if you can as a late surger. The more you can get, the better it's going to be. So of course, you want to try to race more, but in the end, you kind of have to leave it up to RNG. Just try to high roll the run as much as possible, get as much skill points as possible, because it's going to be very, very important to get good skills on your horses, all right? For your late ace decks that you might want to look for, you probably look for like Nice Nature or Guri Cap for the On Your Left or Furious Feet, depending on what you want. You do not require it. You can just take No Stopping Me, Majiro, Ryan, Marozensky if you wanted to, and that would be still 3 accelerations already, which is generally quite okay for most people. You want to get Nice Nature or Furious Feet, no problem also. You can just gamble more or gamble less, up to you already, right? Just need to go and hunt down for the other skills that are relevant for you. And closers, you're basically the same as late surgers. You just play the gambling game, but you can buy Encroach Encroaching Shadow, right, for Narita Taishin players, because Narita Taishin's Encroaching Shadow is still 0.4 XL. That's still something that's very significant. But more than likely, you probably will run those enclosures into late surges anyway, because now with the access to No Stopping Me, if you throw more of them into late surge positions, they are more likely to hit number 6, they're more likely to hit number 5, they're more likely to get No Stopping Me to trigger, right? And then they can also maybe even speed carry over their skills. Because if you remember, right, Nemesis activates at the final corner, which means that Nemesis for Taishin can actually carry over into the final spurt, making her very, very strong depending on where you want to go and put her. You can put her in the back and get Encroaching Shadow, no problem. You can put in the late surge position and just Nemesis speed carry over with Ryan plus No Stopping Me, blah blah blah. All of that will still work out, right? All of these are all viable options for you. You just do whatever you feel like doing. And then of course you want to get as much speed skills as possible, so you can do the Uma stand, then you just do the playtime, slipstream, blah blah blah. You get the drill already, right? You see I repeat it so many times. It's always those things. It's always those skills to help you to kind of keep that pace going and make sure you can get a very, very good position for your horse. Right? Now, possible strategies. Okay, for possible strategies, there are quite a few that we've locked on right now. For debuffer Gold City and for using the Gold City SSR to kind of give all your horses keen eye and try to debuff people, I have to go and test that one. So I will not recommend it personally. If you want to go and follow someone else and just try doing the double keen eye for front runner, blah blah blah, go ahead and do it. I won't stop you, alright? But I don't have the data and I don't have the experience for this, so I'm not going to recommend it for all of you. Right? In general, I would say one front runner, one Taiki Shuttle, one backline ace gives you a very, very good broad amount of win cons. Right? 3 gambler backliner aces also give you a more chance to go and hit your gambling options. You got runaway blocker plus Taiki Shuttle plus backliner ace. In my case, it's going to be Vodka. This is the team comp that I'll probably be using because the runaway blocker Suzuka is very good to buff up the pace chasers and very good to stop the front runners from taking my games from me. Right? So I'm going to probably do this just in case there's a lot of front runner loaded lobbies and I just kill them all. Right? After that, we also have Taiki Shuttle plus 2 backliner aces, which is also going to be good. Why? Because you get to basically deny the front runner another front runner to fight. Right? And if there's very few front runners in the lobby, then it's just a free game. One front runner cannot win the game. Must have 2 and they must fight each other. Otherwise, it's not enough of a gap. Right? 2 front runners plus gambler ace will be the most consistent one for the front runner means, because you always want to make sure you have your own front runner to go and fight your own front runner. Right? If there's only one front runner, the backliners eat them for free. You need to have 2 front runners and they must fight each other in order for the gap to become very, very big. Or you can use a Silent Suzuka and run her all the way in front, and then after that you just use nothing else, literally nothing else, because the great front runner wants to not fight anyone, but the front runner wants to fight someone. So just remember that, alright? There's also a few other not so highly recommended options over here that I've added, which is the 2 backliners plus runaway blocker. In general, enclosers, not super amazing except for Taishin, who is able to at least Encroaching Shadow and hit all of those other skills like I said beforehand. So I don't really think enclosers are really that good for this Miles CM over here. And then the last one is of course use the Cancer Cup horses if you are very tired of CM already. I know, because I am so tired of this already. I want to play the game, but I got to keep making all this stuff, and I had to remake this twice because the stupid update came right now. Alright, I'm just angry because the update came so early. Alright, and then I have to go and do all this, and then I can't go and plan all my own stuff. Okay, so yeah, basically that's it. Basically, that's it for all of the possible strategies, possible decks, possible skills, possible blah blah blah. As you can see, the world has grown for all of us Umamusume players, right? You can do so many different strategies, so many different horses are now slightly better or greatly better or even insanely better. Like Taiki Shuttle, holy shit, where did she come from? Right, exactly. A lot of these buffs are very significant and definitely change up the meta. We will not be following JP blindly anymore. We actually have to go and think about what kind of strategies we're going to be using for this upcoming stuff here. Alright, so yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I know it's very long, but there's a lot of stuff to go and go through here. Alright, so yeah, that's it guys. Thanks for watching. If you have any other questions, join me on my live streams on YouTube or Twitch. Join me on Discord and talk to the other people here. Or you can, if you really need to go and DM me, go through my Ko-fi and then you can DM me there. I have to paywall myself because a lot of people keep messaging me, but I got no time for all of you guys. I'm working on the next tier list already. I'm working on the Aharu guide, blah blah. Alright, so anyway, thanks guys for watching. Thanks for all the support. We could not have gotten this far without you guys, and I shall see you guys in the next video. Good luck with your Virgo Cup grinding, but remember, please go and grind your team trial horses first. Alright, team trial is going to be the top priority because your team trial score is going to get super inflated. Alright, that's it. Thanks guys for watching. I shall see you guys next time. Bye bye.